The stock market is not the economy. Many people own no stocks at all. Many people own very little. But the stock market is one indicator that we look at, and the stock market has collapsed this week as coronavirus continues to explode and ravage the country, and as Donald Trump still has no plan, nor even any interest in dealing with the virus. At this point, either we keep falling more and more into a dystopian nightmare with the pandemic, or Donald Trump gets replaced. It's one of the two. Trump is not going to fix this, all right? But the stock market is absolutely imploding the first 3 days this week. The Dow closing last week at roughly 28,300. Monday, down 600 points. Tuesday, down another couple hundred points. Yesterday, falling off a cliff down nearly 1,000 points. The decline for these first 3 days of the week, about 1,700 points. Now, the specifics of the impact of the stock market being down are heavily concentrated among companies and rich people who own the vast majority of stock. That is very true. But this is a signal about the confidence in the American economy. And because of the virus, confidence is very low. We are seeing record coronavirus numbers. We have a third spike already reaching and surpassing the single day case highs of late July. We've had over 80,000 cases multiple days over the last week. And even though Trump said we would not see more deaths, the 7-day average of deaths in the United States has been starting to climb since the middle of October. Remember, deaths used to lag cases by 2 to 3 weeks. Now that we're better at treating the virus, deaths lag cases by a little bit more. Even people who die are staying alive a little bit longer, as sort of morose as that is. And hospitalizations are peaking again and potentially on their way to the highest peak we've seen thus far. If and when the hospitals get full, you will see the death rate go up dramatically. And we still have no plan. The stock market is rattled because there is still no plan. Trump bemoaning that the media is talking about the pandemic, saying at his rallies and tweeting many times some version of this tweet from yesterday where he said, quote, "COVID, COVID, COVID is the unified chant of the fake news lamestream media. They will talk about nothing else until November 4th when the election will be hopefully over. Then the talk will be how low the death rate is, plenty of hospital rooms, and many tests of young people." He's living in a fantasy world. And we knew they were going to go with the idea of let people get used to 1,000 deaths a day, let it become normal. And while that is completely immoral, it actually might have worked were it only for the deaths. But this is a real economics lesson, which Anthony Scaramucci pointed out on Twitter. Anthony Scaramucci, former guest on this program. Check out that interview. Former White House comms director. Scaramucci tweeted, "Economics lesson for the soon-to-be ex-president. The virus needed to be contained to help the economy and stock markets. Federal stimulus would never be enough. You crushed the stock market and the economy by not understanding this. Trump thought, for political gain, I will ignore it. The problem is the economy and the stock market won't ignore it. And they will notice that even if they don't care or agree to ignore the deaths, they are having a massive impact on the economy. And as Europe is in its second spike, we're already in our third, and it is getting very ugly. We need a plan. We need someone to take control of the pandemic. Trump can't do it. He's also not trying. They've given up. Remember, over the last weekend, Trump's deranged, maskless chief of staff, Mark Meadows, actually said, we're not going to control the pandemic. Check this out from CNN.
So here's what we have to do. We're not going to control the pandemic. We are going to control the fact that we get vaccines, therapeutics, and other mitigation
Why aren't we going to get
areas
control of the pandemic?
Because it is a contagious virus, just like the flu.
Yeah, but why not make efforts to contain it?
Well, we are making efforts to contain it.
By running all over the country, not wearing a mask?
Jake,
that's what the vice president's doing.
We can get into the back and forth. Let me just say this. Is what we need to do is make sure that we have the proper mitigation factors, whether it's therapies or vaccines or treatments.
They've given up. That's it. What we have ahead of us, maybe if we replace Donald Trump with Joe Biden, is that Joe Biden will take the pandemic seriously. And in general, American stock markets and economies do better under Democratic presidents. That's a historical reality. And that's also what we're counting on at this point. But we have to make it happen. Otherwise, this is horrible. This may only be the beginning if we don't remove Donald Trump. Let me know your thoughts and reaction. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.